want someone who can help. This is Jesus.
Never heard of him.
He's helping people. I want to be a part of that.
Well, this is such a great project. I have 3 little ones, so I'm so excited to show them to them. And my daughter's here with me, and she's gonna watch it tonight. And I love to see, like, through her eyes. Talk about your passion of, like, why you wanted to do this and why you wanted to do such biblical meaning.
I was a Disney animator for many years and worked on Lion King, Aladdin, and Pocahontas. But when John came to me and said, hey, I could use some help, can you help me direct this film? They'd already decided, okay, we're gonna make young John the Apostle the main character. We're gonna see it through his eyes. He's about 13 and he's about to go on this adventure to try and find this Messiah. And what he finds is a good friend. And then later discovers he is the Messiah. But to me, I'm hearing that pitch and then hearing him say, oh, we want to do it in 2D animation, just like those classic Disney films. I was in. And so for me, yeah, this was the project that I had no idea I wanted to do my whole life. And I've been training for it, honestly, my whole career.
Yeah, I bet it does have so much more meaning to it than, I mean, you've done a lot of animated movies with Disney, Mulan, and like a whole litany of things. And so talk a little bit more about, you know, the meaning behind it and kind of your emotion towards it.
For sure. I mean, I'm a believer and I couldn't show that side of me. I couldn't bring that to work when I was at Disney, honestly. And so working with John, we also did Superbook, the series at CBN together many years ago. We got to reunite on this film, and it's the ultimate, you know, goal of any artist or believer, honestly, to do a film about Jesus. And there's lots of challenges there, obviously, but boy, I mean, for me, it's been life-changing. I'm just thrilled to have been a part of it, and I'm so honored that I got to be.
And for you, with your career in this space, kind of talk about, you know, what led you to what you're doing.
I mean, for me, you know, I think it all started back when I was a child, seeing the Charlie Brown Christmas special, and when Linus tells Charlie Brown the true meaning of Christmas. And for me, at that being a child, I did not know what the word Savior or God was. My parents never knew how to explain it to me, and that was that seed planted in me. And so I've learned the power of animation can plant seeds, and for me, in my experience with Superbook and seeing how Superbook, the stories have been introducing Bible stories to the children of the world, and just seeing how it affects a child's growth and develop a relationship, and now this next step of making this feature film about the story of the life of Jesus, and telling it through the eyes of young John. You know, and that's something children can relate to. And we made it fun and enchanting and endearing. It's humorous. And so it's one of those ones, it's not just a kids movie. It really, truly is a family movie. And we really can't wait till families get to experience it in the theaters on September 5th. And I think it's one of those outreaches too, that you can invite anyone to see this movie. Someone you may feel uncomfortable sharing the gospel with. And this is a kind of a low entry point where let the movie speak to their hearts.
Well, I'm appreciative, having my 3 younger kids, what you guys have done with Superbook and what you've done here, because now we can take them to the theater, and I know it's clean, and I know it's fun, and I know it's engaging, and the meaning of it. And then you've got Superbook on the major platforms, so if my kids are looking for something, you know, they look on the major platforms, and so you guys have it there, and so it's so great. So I'm appreciative as a mom. Do you guys have a family, and is that one of the reasons you do this too? And
Oh, yeah. I have 4 daughters, and they're grown now, but honestly, you know, I didn't have this in the 90s, right? We didn't have, you know, this kind of entertainment. And so, honestly, things like Movieguide, honestly, you guys have helped shape and make this important, you know, faith-based films and TV series. And so, honestly, we wouldn't have the chosen of this film probably without Movieguide. So thank you to your lineage and your dad. But yeah, we're so thankful to be on this road together, making stuff for this next generation.
Yeah, and I think, you know, this movie really, you know, you talked about where all the platforms where Superbook is, and that's just been an amazing journey. But this movie truly was made for the big screen. It has this really painterly feel. You cannot see that on the small screen. So to experience this film, to hear this, it was fully orchestrated and that stuff. You know, at one point in time, you know, Christians were the influencers of the arts, of sculptures, of structure, architect, and music. And that all kind of went away. And we were really hoping with what we did with Light of the World, truly staying with 2D animation, hand-drawn, the touch of the artist, the composing and everything, that this is a movie that all people will be proud of and excited to see in the theaters.
What we got to do also is find some of the best artists in the world and put that together. Once we had that team and we were gelling and working together, it was magic. I mean, and that's really, you know, people talk about the magic of a Disney movie or something like that. The real magic is the team and getting them together, having them all kind of align with one goal of making this movie the best it can be. And I mean that artistically, but story-wise also. And we had a dream team on this project.
So what would be like your greatest hope for the audience coming and the families coming?
The greatest hope for me is that when they leave that theater, that seed that is planted in their hearts, especially for those who don't know anything about Jesus, but they walk away learning something more personal, that a development of a friendship that they watch with John and Jesus, they can have that. And then for those who do know the story, who have a relationship with Jesus, that this is kind of that refresh telling to re-inspire them to go back into the Word and kind of now read it and now have a different take on what Jesus experienced through the Word.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just changed lives. We share the same goal of what we want this movie to go out and do. And really, we didn't make it for the U.S. so much. We were really making it for an international audience that probably have never heard this story before. And so with that challenge came, you know, a lot of, you know, heavy weight on our shoulders, you could say. But honestly, it going out there and changing lives, that's what we really are desiring.
And I would say we really made it for everyone, but we wrote it specifically for those who do not have that concept, so we can, you know, put in there. So
I think it's such a great time to bring it out, you know, with the world, you know, so divided on different issues, like to show the love, you know, that Jesus brings people. So I think it's a great time to bring this movie out.
Yeah, I think what this movie is going to bring is hope.
Yeah.
You know, and people are looking for it. You know, they cannot find it in the world, things that they clung on to before, thinking that this is going to be their hope, and it failed them. I hope that they see this movie and see that, hey, there's a hope that you can trust in. And what better time to, you know, when we named the movie Light of the World, that was 4 years ago. How timely that we release it now in a world that there's a lot of darkness happening. And so what a perfect title.
And designing Jesus, like making his character with his features, what was that process?
It was a big part of the process at the very beginning. Multiple artists were reached out to, can you do your version of Jesus, your version? And then, you know, the leadership could look at that and go, okay, make those hard decisions of, okay, which ones feel more like what we're trying to get across? And really, it was the eyes. You know, the eyes are the window of the soul. Yeah. And we wanted to show that warmth of Jesus's eyes. A lot of that is in the design, but it also comes true in the animation. It's like, and the voice and all of that. So every single element became important. But he's also a Middle Eastern man, and we wanted to be one of the first, honestly, to kind of portray him as a darker skinned character. Yeah. We've already heard a lot of response of people being thankful for that we actually went there and showed his, you know, his true, you know, race too, and his skin tone. And so all of those things kind of come together to be our Jesus. And how important is that? That some kids are going to see, when they read the Bible, they're going to see this image in their head. That's an important thing. So we took it very seriously.
Yeah.
And beyond the design, it was really in the performance of the animation, because we wanted to show Jesus, the vulnerable side of him. You see him in our film crying. You see him get excited when he sees his mother, you know, and runs to her. And you see him kind of laughing or act surprised. And we wanted to kind of, you know, show children he is approachable, he's accessible. He came here as human, so he understands what we're going through. So when we say we can give it to him and trust him with it, is because being human while he was here, he understood that. But at the same time with our film, we do show those moments of when you see him in all his full power of what he could do. And so, yeah.
He's the king of all kings!
He is the light of the world.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you want more content like this, head over to movieguide.org. Movieguide is a nonprofit organization, and we are supported every day by viewers like you.